You can't even think for yourself enough to say, I probably shouldn't be consuming this. I probably shouldn't be taking this in all day, every day. It's gonna have an impact on me eventually. So I would love for everyone in hip hop, the artists, to evolve to a place where we're not pushing out murder music and glorifying this type of stuff. But I would also like the fans to evolve to where you don't have a taste for the delicious poison.
I really think this is an important topic. It's something that's been going on in mass culture for a while, but it's been addressed lately by this Christian rapper by named Dee-1. Now, it's funny because it's actually a conversation I just had with my daughter, like straight up, in regards to the aspect of if a guy was to come home and tell his wife every day, like, yo, you stupid, you dumb, why marry you? Just talk bad to her year after year after year. We would acknowledge that, first off, you're not loving your neighbor. That's the first thing. You're not guarding your tongue. But we would acknowledge that leads to depression, low self-esteem, and things of that nature. We would acknowledge that. We would even go as far as to say that guy's being verbally abusive, right? But when it comes to music and things of that nature, for some reason we don't acknowledge or even give a platform to the aspect of that. You don't think that's going to impact the same way these words, these songs that are degrading women by women and men, murder music about killing another person made in the image of God, just songs like this, anthems literally to degrade somebody and put people in a mindset of things that we wouldn't condone. We don't like to condone in society, things that are considered illegal. And for Christians, we call them sin, a lot of the things.
But people glorify negativity in their music, but I also see the work that they do in the community.
So what reaches
this is a double-edged sword.
What reaches more people? Their music?
No, the music will.
All right.
The music will, without a doubt.
That part right there. That's what I'm talking about. If your turkeys are feeding people, that meal lasts for one day. But that music that you make, you've been bumping that for 20 years. That raises people. You feel me? So that's what all I'm saying. And watch this. They got people like us. Bro, we are exceptions to the rule, to where we might have been able to hear a certain type of message in music, but it didn't make us want to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of people who like, well, I listened to this my whole life. I ain't never went and did it. But for every one of us who didn't go do it, how many of our friends ain't where we at today? Because they got caught up somewhere along the way. And what type of music was the soundtrack to the lifestyle that they started living?
But we just bask in it. And the reason why I came with my daughter is that she noticed I started listening to a lot more Christian music. And I explained it to her, like, you have to be careful about subtle influences and things. Because if you leave a door open a crack, yo, that cold air is coming in. Like, your house is going to get cold. Even if it's a small crack in the window, you'll feel that breeze. I mean, what is that? Man, what? I have to get up and find it. And as Christians, I think that a lot of times we flirt and play around with things. It makes me realize that people just want to get as close to that line as possible. You want to get as close as the line of, I know this is sin, I'm going to tiptoe right there up on it. Now I'll be the first to tell you, yo, you sin, I sin, we're going to fail. But I'm not going out trying to find the closest I can get to the sin hashtag, the sin line in the sand where I can just dance over and lean. That's as close as I can get to it, but I'm not sinning. There's something about that type of thought process, you know. But we have to get to the point where we acknowledge that these things in the world, these things that we read, and I'll say especially music, because that becomes a soundtrack to someone's life. Like, people like to bring up, we do this a lot too. If you're going to say that, why not call out this? Why not do that? Okay, bro, but People don't watch movies every day on their way to work or on the way to school. They don't put headphones on and listen to the same clip of a movie over and over again. That's kind of why I'm so glad Dee-1, the artist, is addressing this. Because it is very hypocritical that we'll have people who, like the example he gave, they will say they're the face of prison reform.
Ross, you could do better, brother. Meek Mill, you could do better, brother. I love you too much not to be honest with you. Are you the face of prison reform? Cause are you the face of prison reform? Or are you sitting here on your new song with Ross talking about getting somebody murked and shot at the red light? Which one is it, bro? Which one is it, bro?
Some will even talk about how, and this is just the language people use. The white man's against us. They're out to get black people all the time. Let's say it all the time, right? Talk about high incarceration rate and all this type of things. I don't even want to go off on that because the person who's put in the law, same people told us to vote for. But what I'm saying is on a different note. They will talk about all this stuff and these ills of society and this and that. But then 5 minutes later, like Dee-1 says about the Meek Mill and Rick Ross album, they're talking about selling dope and killing people. The actual lifestyle and thought process that's getting people locked up right a little bit later. And it's crazy that we care about society, we claim we do, and we'll get claps and high fives for it. But in actuality, when we go forward, it's not that. And he can speak to the artist part of it. I just want to talk to the consumer part of it. Like, we need to be careful and guard our hearts. Guard our hearts, and by guarding our hearts, guard our ear and our eyes in regards to things. Now, 100%, do I listen, or have I in my life only listened to Christian music or music that's like that's on my happy by for real? No. One of my favorite artists is 50 Cent. I'm just keeping it 100, you know? I had to notice that, I'm not going to play this type of hip-hop around my kids. And I cut back on it for myself. And I won't just say hip-hop because there's other types of music also out there. But I'm a hip-hop baby. So that's the one that impacts me. And let's be fair, I'll even say R&B. Let's just be honest. There's music out there that we know is not glorifying or edifying. And I'm not saying you have to go out there, it has to be a hymn that you listen to every day and you're really trying your hardest to be slapping to a hymn. No, I'm not saying that. But let's not play games. People know, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And for people majority of people who probably watch my channel or this channel don't follow this type of stuff. But it still relates to you in regards to what your kids are listening to. Niece, nephew, a friend's kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to have them keep an eye on, keep an ear on it, because a lot of influence happens when things become the norm. Like, I hate things just popping in my head, but there's a reason why on TV, almost every show you watch now has a gay couple. Now, listen, this isn't some podcast, this is about just media and influence. They want to make that become the norm. Like, you'll see more gay couples in sitcoms and things than you'll see black people. I can't be the norm. No, I'm playing. But what I'm saying is don't think things are done by accident, or it's not going to have no impact on you. It's just a show. It's just a song. Things are more impactful subconsciously than you think. And by no means am I saying that on TV they should not have gay people on these shows. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's a reason why people are lobbying for that. There's a reason why people are lobbying for the inclusion of different diversity and things of that nature. Why it's a joke that you never see a black person really on Seinfeld or Friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they mixed in a couple black ones every now and then. Before that, you'll see why that ended up happening. But it was just some thoughts about my mind, and I'm really thankful that Dee-1 is addressing this issue. And he had some missteps throughout it, I would say, if I had to critique it. But overall, I'm glad that somebody is bold enough to say that, because back when I think it was the Gores, Al Gore and some of that wife, when they put the parental advisory stickers on albums, and the hip hop community, everybody was in an uproar. No, no, don't do that, don't do that. How, fam? They were right. They were right. Like, when I look at the impact of this, they were right. That stuff, like, kids don't need to be listening to some of this stuff. I watched this thing by Charleston White today. He's trust me, the language is bad on it. If you look at it, it's him being interviewed by Cam Newton. And then he just mentioned how we have kids killing kids, making songs about a dead person. They'll say they're smoking on that person, literally boasting about killing somebody or laughing at someone's tragic demise. Yo, when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, that was the furthest thing on my mind. It was literally, are we playing baseball, basketball, or football today? You don't have a bike? Hop on the back. I got pegs. Let's go. It's just different. Like, we've allowed these thoughts to infiltrate minors, and we wonder why as they get older that they're more mature, more things are happening at a faster rate to them, and it's not okay. It's not okay. We need to get back to, especially as Christians, it's like we think that when we judging is so bad. Thou shalt not judge. The Bible says that. How dare you judge? Don't be stupid. Like, I mean that with all sincerity, of being nice. Don't be stupid. Read the passage. The next 2 stanzas, he tells you to judge. Do not judge hypocritically. Take the log out your own eye before you remove it from your neighbor's eye. So at some point, you still remove it from your neighbor's eye. At some point, you do get to that point. It's also a thing called discernment, which does have to do with judging. You're going to have to judge something that's in front of you to discern if it's fruitful or not fruitful and negative and literally can bring you to despair, things of that nature. So this whole notion of don't judge, let things fall where they may, I hate that. I hate that. You know, like, that thought process has led people to the aspect of, I don't want to push religion on my kids. I'll let them decide what they want to be when they get older. Man, raise your kids in the faith. Raise your kids in the faith. This is crazy. Yo, do you let your kid decide if they want to be, well, nowadays you never know. You don't let them decide. They're in your household. You raise them with the morals that you feel is best and the worldview. Now, when they get older, they can reassess or whatever. But all this hands-off stuff has led to someone else's hands coming in and being able to influence and have that role of a parent. I'm getting off on a tangent. Anyhow, thanks Dee-1 and even Charleston White, you crazy self, for addressing these things in the community, because it's a hip-hop issue, I'll say, but it impacts a lot more because hip-hop is the dominant genre out there. Anyhow, Wittenberg Project.